Hello, welcome to Romantic Wednesdays with Poetry. I'm Alisa Agnes, your host, and I believe it's time to get real and spill some tea or coffee. So today is the last time, and I'm saying all of this because today it's the last episode of the second season, and after that you can expect me to go on a little podcast, kind of a break. So today the last episode will be about a song, about the last song from my novel Laura's Diary, My Awesome Life. So last week I closed my debut book, Once Upon a Time There Were Two Poetry Books, and today I'm closing talking about songs from my novel Laura's Diary, My Awesome Life. So now you know everything you needed to know about poetry and songs from my first two books. So you can probably guess that the third season will be about songs from my third book. That's also a novel, Unknown Future Destiny. And I will also talk about the third volume of my poetry. That third volume that you got last week, was such a bonus content, and the right third volume of my poetry will come out one day in the future. So today you have the last episode about a song. You will learn more about love clues today. So maybe now I will read you the lyrics of the song, and later I will spill some tea or coffee. I've already had the third coffee today, so I'm feeling very much, about spilling well. So that's the lyrics. Love kills. My heart was in pieces. You set everything on fire. I guess you really liked it like that. But now I'm ready with my revenge. Now we can run away here. Falling for people like you is the biggest mistake. Yeah, I did it twice. And it's something I shouldn't have done. Love kills. You came and walked away. It was meant to be like that. Now I see I've never cried. Maybe it was never real. And now I really don't care here. Looking at people like you makes you go blind. Yeah, I know it now. It's something I shouldn't have done. Love kills. Now I know it was the wrong guy, but it doesn't matter anymore, 'cause I have you now. It's meant to be. It's golden. It's fine. Love can't kill me anymore, 'cause it's you and I forevermore. So, it's also the last song from my first notebook. And that very first version of the song was a little bit different when it comes to the message. And it was also a bit shorter because that intro, was written a few years ago when I was compiling and rewriting this, book, this novel. So this song was added to this novel much later because it appears in the last chapter, in the 25th chapter of my novel. So this song was changed so it could kind of feel like it fits to my novel and to my story and all those feelings that my main characters had, because it's about Joe and the second girl. Do you remember her name? So Alice. Yes, I mean Alice. So this song was written by this duo, and we have here their story, and it's about knowing that they found each other and this is this right love, that they were meant to find in their lives. And it's also about comparing what we have now to what we had before. So here we have some guy, or maybe guys, she thinks about in the song, and she realizes that all of that was a mistake. And later we have Joe, and he talks about his relationship with Laura right here. So it's like, he was kind of waiting for her to have feelings for him, and later this relationship didn't work out and everything ended. And then he met Alice, and he realized that that this love was the right love. And this way, after comparing all the past and realizing that they found something perfect, we have this intro, which is literally about realizing that this relationship that we have now is a perfect one. It's something that was meant to be found, and it's about also realizing that love can't kill anymore, because it's simply something golden, it's perfect, and it can't bring such very sad and not right feelings like it was in the past. So this song was changed like that because of my novel, and it was all about feelings that I wanted to show in this song. I mean, my characters. But the very basis of this song, that song that I wrote when I was 16, was about this kind of anger when you kind of get this very first heartbreak from this guy, and you know that you both love each other, but you kind of feel like, okay, if you're living, then maybe I want to hurt you back. That's what 16 years old me was thinking about, and I know it wasn't wise, but we all were young once. And this is what youth is about, isn't it? So this song was written in such a moment when I just felt like it's ending and I'm angry, and I want to express what I feel in the form of such a song. So it was about one guy, and surprise, I still know him today, and maybe I will always know him. So that feeling that I had at the very beginning, it was just a moment, and it passed. So whatever happens in life, sometimes bad things don't bring the relationship to the end, but somehow it makes this love grow deeper, bigger, and more beautiful. And you realize that maybe all those little deaths make this love become something more beautiful. And also, if all those little things don't make this love die like for good, then it means that it's a real love which is meant to stay here forever. So this is what inspired me, and that's how the song changed. So now you know everything about the song. So as you can see, it's a really long story when it comes to this song, because it's a lot of history. And well, maybe I will also tell you at the very ending about the idea of love kills. I mean, this metaphor. So it's literally the metaphor of just a simple heartbreak. Sometimes you feel like your heart is in pieces and you feel like you're dying, and you feel like maybe some of those things were a mistake, but sometimes you do those things twice anyway. And it's also about realizing what fate is. And when you cry and feel like love kills, then it's a sign of this love becoming something bigger and greater. I mean, it's simply something real. Because if you didn't cry, then this love wouldn't feel like it's killing you. You know what I mean? So, yep. Also, sometimes when we are angry at someone, we want to hurt them, and then we say something like, I've never cried, maybe it was never real. And you kind of want to say that you don't care, you don't love them, but in the end it's just words, and sometimes we just want to hurt others like that. But I also think it's one of the maybe biggest fears some people sometimes have, because what if this person we love so much doesn't love you back? So yep, it's about this kind of fear. But as I've said, sometimes we say such things just because we want to hurt someone. But I believe that it's kind of childish, and I hope such a behavior is something that we live in the past, and maybe let's not come back to this kind of things. Sometimes we can also feel like maybe it's not real if you can't feel such deep emotions, like this person can't bring you tears, then maybe it's not real. But later, when this love grows and you also grow up, you realize that at some point you thought you don't care anymore, but then you realize that it wasn't true, that you still care. So I remember I also felt like this a few times when I was young. Sometimes I was thinking like, feeling like maybe this love, died and I don't feel it anymore. But then, these feelings come back, and this way you realize that how real this love is. And I think when we were young, we just learn what love is. And when butterflies fly away and come back after some time, then you can be sure that it's real. And if it happened once, then it will keep on happening until you're literally one step in a grave. So, yep. I think that's all that I can tell you about this metaphor of love kills. So, yep, it's all that I can tell you about the song. There is nothing to expect in the next episode, and I really feel like I don't want to say goodbye now. So, yep, it's a bit sad to me that now my podcast is ending, because it's been 2 years of recording all these episodes about poetry and songs. So it's a very strange feeling, but I will keep on creating and maybe teaching, who knows. So for now, I won't extend this episode any longer, because everything that I needed to say was already said. So, thank you so much for listening to my podcast for the past 2 years. And I hope to still have you here when I come back one day with the third and fourth seasons. But for now, that's all. Well, so once again, thank you so much for listening, and goodbye for now. Bye.